We progressed now to foiling the third border. I opted to use clear glass in the corners. Right now I am foiling one of those. Reason I like clear glass, I use clear window glass all the time because it helps. A lot of people poke my windows and make sure that there's glass in there because of that idea that clear glass is pretty cool, that it creates dimension. Even bevels stand out away from clear glass. Colored glass, other textures of clear glass, they seem to distance themselves when you use clear window glass. So it creates a nice dimensional effect. It looks good. It's a really clean look. And another thing you noticed, I've labeled top left, top right, right, left, bottom right. By the way, I'm going to make this panel again. I'm going to do it in blues. So that's part of the beauty of these boards. I have two of these boards of these 18-inch squares, and literally if you wanted to make two windows at the same time and really maximize your world as far as making inventory, you can make two windows at the same time and have these boards help you in that process. So it's really works out well. I'm trying to keep in mind that this camera may not be showing it all. I'll try to do my best to be aware of that. I'm the only one making these videos. Oh, wah. I opted to use the Spectrum Ice in these areas. It really stands out against the bevels. Looks really good. My panel's looking pretty cool right now. And as you can see, I'm moving inward. And I used clear window glass here, and I'm going to in these two areas. Because the next step is I'm going to work on these corners. Utilizing these beveldine bevels, these B10s, I'm going to stick them in these corners. And I'm thinking about making this a white bullseye mottled glass. That should look pretty good. I think that's going to look pretty neat. Because I think I need some color now in the center to sort of create a backdrop again to where the bevels and the jewels are laying against the color glass. It's all about the contrast. I mean, that's what a lot of the stained glass is anyhow. It's just contrast. It's having the black next to the white so that black stands out against the white, and vice versa. Everything's not a black and white, but a lot of things are relative to how one references the other. And so as I'm progressing in this window, I've got two more pieces to foil. Almost everything in this window is turning out to be 7/32. The only thing that I've used 3/16 on is the 4 round cabochons and the Spectrum Ice. It's a thin glass. It's thinner than many of the other standard double roll glass. So I use a smaller, the 3/16 inch foil. And remember that Spectrum Ice, being Spectrum, is fusible. So most of this window, so far all this window, other than the float glass, is fusible compatible coefficiency 96. For those people who are watching these videos who also fuse and do stained glass, it's kind of interesting. A lot of stained glass people are fusing, and a lot of fusers are doing stained glass. The one helps the other. I'm cutting off my glitches right now. And what I mean by glitches is where the foil overlaps itself, where you can see the start and the finish. These beveldines are pretty thin. At least these B10s are pretty thin. So I'm going back to the 3/16 foil. And I'm going to foil the 4 bevel dines in 3/16, black back foil because I use copper or black patina on all my stained glass creations. I like the black because it makes things stand out. And optimum. So the window is really looking good. I'm going to make the same window again. I can't tell you how many hours I've got into this window. All in all, maybe 2.5 hours. It's a one-day window for sure. But the reason I'm stretching it out is because I'm videoing it and answering the phone, going to lunch, and doing the regular things in life that I can't dedicate 100% of myself to doing stained glass. I had to take my pixie bobs to the vet today to get their rabies shot. 2 of my pixie bobs. You'll have to check them out in some of my other videos. They're half bobcat and half domestic cat. I love these guys. They're always around me. There's one right now 2 feet away from me. You can't see her. So the window's progressing really nicely. And you can see it's really looking good, taking shape. That foil didn't stick. Every now and then you'll have a piece of glass that doesn't take the foil. Sometimes I even have to grind the edges of my bevels. Most of the time I do. I grind everything. It's my way of knowing that, my way of checking and knowing that the glass is going to fit, because many bevels are very irregular. They have very rough edges. Bevels for the most part are made for lead, and this is a copper foil window. So that's just something you got to keep in mind. Anybody who does copper foil already knows that many bevels are pretty rough. Some more rougher than others because you can hide all that rough underneath the lead. So now here we go. In this area, I'm going to use the same clear window glass in these 2 areas. That'll really make this bevel lift off the background. It also helps contrast these 2. And it's quite interesting what clear window glass looks like. Don't be afraid to use it in your windows because it really creates a dimension. Being flat, it's really almost absent. In fact, many people poke my windows just to see if there's glass there. So, progressing to the next video, and glad you're watching. If you like these videos, please give me a rating, hopefully favorable. See you on the next. Bye-bye.